Hey, it's Empress Rose here, and welcome to our collective reading for the week. Looking at my scrying ball this morning, there has been an owl, but at times perhaps a hawk or an eagle, but an owl, and it's standing on the ground in front of a large, large tree. And of course, I want to think about all of the mythological trees, Yggdrasil and oak trees and the spiritual trees, but I'm not really getting an indication of what kind of tree it is. It looks like a deciduous tree, and I don't think it has any leaves on it. And there's an owl, and the owl is standing on the ground in front of it. And sometimes it's a small owl, and sometimes it's a big owl. Sometimes it looks like a very old owl, a very wise owl, obviously a wise owl. But it looks old. It could be an older man, that's what I'm associating with it, is an older gentleman. And sometimes it's very camouflaged, and sometimes it seems to just be fairly jumping out of the ball. And sometimes it's part of the tree. So, and then, oh, yes, I had happened to already grab my owl mug this morning. Or this afternoon, as it has suddenly become. All right, well, I'm gonna start off with some oracle cards. One more shuffle on these puppies, and let's see what happens. This is Colette Baron Reed's latest offering. Oh, so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Well, let's go with the top one, and then I'll turn these others over. When the ones you need fly close. So this is about being in close physical proximity to the help that you need, the people that you love, your team, right? It's bees. Bees are the teamwork is basically what bees are. And they are very happy to see each other. There is a lot of joy in this. This might be a temporary visit. This might be more long-term, but it's just about being close to people that you care about, and they care about you and your teammates, whatever team that is. In this life, you've got some teammates here. It's a really beautiful card of physical closeness. So someone might be visiting you, you might be visiting someone else. There's physical proximity in some way, or some feeling close to people, which is a very life-giving, beautiful feeling. And surfing rainbows on the moon. This is encouragement to dream big, imagine. When you are imagining right now, do not imagine something realistic. It's not realistic. Don't let your mind just fly. Let it go. Let it surf rainbows on the moon. Like what? All the magical little surfing and riding the energy and just letting your mind free of being realistic, being, there's like a weightlessness, a gravitylessness. Is this going to happen? We don't really care. We can just let the mind go completely free. Let it fly. Unrealistic? Sure, let's dream that up. Because I think, as I was saying last time, these or in someone's reading recently, is these dreams and these visions, they can help prepare us for unlikely events in the future. How would we respond? How do we feel? A long time ago, I had a dream where some great, amazing political figure asked me, what is it that you want? And I sat there going, So, it was very unrealistic, but it was literally a sleeping dream. But I woke up realizing that, I should probably have an answer for that. Should that ever and just help me think about things, even though however unrealistic that is, or that however unrealistic that somebody would be able to grant me any wish in the world, should you find a genie in the bottle, what are you going to ask for? Don't ask for anything bland. Don't ask for anything ordinary. Don't ask for anything, ask for the moon and be unrealistic, at least in your imagination. When you bring it down to earth, that's the time. But you got to have an unrealistic, it has to be untethered to reality. Your imagination has to untether itself from what's possible and what's likely and just fly. This is just, if you're working on a project with somebody else or something like that, and you're doing a brainstorming session, the brainstorming session, we can take that and like work that into how close to that can we get in reality. But if we're having reality as the umbrella over a brainstorming session, we're going to not be able to dream big. We're not going to be able to dream expansively. We're going to dream up to that sort of, maybe it's a financial ceiling, like, well, this is what we have money for. What can we do with that? No, this is a time to dream big and then look at that giant, unrealistic, crazy dream and then take some pieces of it that might fit the budget or fit something else. But at this point, it's just go wild. I don't want to see any tame dreaming. I don't want to see any tame domesticated visions here. I don't want to see a budget in this vision, in this dream. I want to see just sky's the limit, moon, rainbows, surfing, unrealistic, never going to happen. Envision it. Okay, if the wild one comes with sticks, I love that we have this one showing up right after that one, because this is like all the self-doubts. All the self-doubts hammering away, the drumbeat of self-doubt coming in here. It could be external to you. I mean, a lot of where we get those self-doubts is people around us that seed those in us and teach us the drumbeat of self-doubt, the drumbeat of imposter syndrome. You can't do this. It'll never happen. And that's the rhythm. So when the wild ones come with sticks, these are crazy mofos. We're not listening to them, okay? So we're gonna transform these crappy mantras. This is almost like the Eight of Swords card. We're gonna transform those crappy mantras, or at least slow them down, look at them, where they come from. We don't need to play a blame game. We just need to see what's going on with these self-doubts, what's going on with these this internalized naysaying, because this is the anti-naysayers card. This is shut those naysayers up. And most of those naysayers are going to be inside you. And we're not going to listen to that. Or if we are, we're going to do it in a very constructive, informed, loving way, where we're going to look at that and be like, where's this coming from? What do I possibly need to address in order to at least get these guys to be a little quieter, right? Because that drum can be loud. It can be big. It can fill up the space. So dream wild, dream big. And those crazy mofos, don't listen to them. And they're mostly in your head. But yeah. So we're going to go on to the Oracle of Mystical Moments, and then we're going to use the Tarot of Mystical Moments by Katrin Wilstein. So we have 4 more. Oh boy. All right. Well, this is interesting because I feel like this one goes with the wild ones, comes with sticks. This is, can you hear me? So this is communication problems, not feeling heard, not feeling seen. Having put something out into the universe, maybe you applied for a job, you haven't heard back. Maybe you have called someone multiple times. You've never heard back from this person. Maybe you were talking to someone and they kind of ghosted you. This is sort of the card of ghosting here. There's an exhausted element here. And there are means to communication. She has communicated, but she hasn't heard back yet. So, in general, this card can just be like communication difficulties. It's just not getting through. And you've tried and you're not getting through to someone, either because they mentally cannot hear you and they are not in a space to hear you, or because they literally, like, your email went to spam or something like that. There could be like a technological issue coming in here with communication, that it's just not happening in the 3D. And maybe you've tried to communicate with someone, maybe you've reached out to someone, but you haven't heard them, which is interesting because this is when the loved ones, when the ones you need fly close. So what's interesting is that this one is like not hearing back, no communication, you're not hearing anything, there's no word on anything, and that could definitely trigger this. Like, I reached out to this person, I said something, and what's wrong? What am I doing wrong? How come this isn't working? How come, did I do something wrong here? If someone didn't get back to you, or someone ghosted you, it can often bring up these little inner demons that loud as hell. These little inner demons, they're, I just want to say, like, repetitive. It's a repetitive thought process. It's very loud. It's a loud thought process. So the more silence is in your environment, the more silence you get from someone else or from the external, the lack of feedback or the lack of response, the more these internal demons get louder. This is like sending out invitations, or please RSVP to my wedding. And this is like, and then nobody RSVPs. So how are you going to feel? You're going to have these repetitive thoughts that are loud and might be like overshadowing some bigger dream, or be possible to overshadow. I love this protective nest. This is a very patient card. Something is in the works. There could be a secret here. There is, you might have plans for the future, but one of your plans is just about ready to hatch. And mixed with this card, it seems like, mixed with this card, it's like you've been waiting a long time to hear back from somebody, and here it is, but it's a very, it's on the down low. It's very low key, but it's coming, I feel like. And maybe this is a dream. Maybe this is a pretty wild, crazy ass dream you haven't shared with anyone. You've been very protective of it. Something is in a very protected space, and maybe that's why there's not a lot of communication about it. You're not hearing back about it because it's in a quiet, warm space, and it's not ready to be birthed yet. So both of these are cards about things not ready to emerge. Either someone's not ready to talk yet, some reality isn't ready to emerge yet. So I think you're still free to dream whatever this is. Say what you want, dream what you want. Is this thing that could happen, that's not happening, that's still in this protective space, and maybe it's something you're protective of. Is it what could it be in there? And I think that you were meant to be very excited about that and very imaginative about that. It reminds me of as my kids grew older, they were like exactly what I had always hoped for and dreamed of in having kids. I didn't have, I don't know. It was just really interesting to watch the process of like, well, that's what, when I was a kid, and I thought, when I have kids, they're going to be like this. That's exactly how they were, and I didn't force it. They just came in that way. It was very exciting. So that's a little bit of what I'm seeing, is like something delayed and in a protective space. This lack of action on the outside is going to get some negative action on the inside going, but you're still in the dreaming phase of something. So moon dance, but you are halfway there. This has to do with tuition. We have 3 little birds singing, everything's going to be all right. This is a bit of a precarious place though, and that could be why you haven't heard back from someone, or why it's a protected space. It's very precarious, but you know what? Your intuition is guiding you here. You can rely on that. Even if your foot slips, even if in reality things are sort of shaky or tentative or impossible seeming, your intuition has got your back here. And even if you slip, even if you fall, it's not going to be a catastrophe. It's going to be fine. But and I want to say you just need to listen to your intuition, but that sounds like something that you have to try to do. And you need to open the channel, and that's usually, in my opinion, done with meditation and just silencing. And you have to be listening. So that's what meditation does. It helps us just be, and then we can hear the intuition come in there. So yeah, but your intuition has your back, and I'm not sure you're trying too hard. It's not, the stuff in reality that you're doing is actually way harder than just trusting your intuition, and it's not going to fail you. It's not going to stop you. All is connected. So this is about, well, it can be about this too, about these inner voices and these inner demons and how they connect to the stories we tell about something, the stories we tell about ourselves, the stories we tell. And we have Anansi here, the spider, the storyteller, spider woman. And we also have symbols of fall. So in the Northern Hemisphere, we have some fall going on here. And yeah, so changes, all is connected, and one little change affects all the other changes. And there's something too about the interconnectedness, the web of life. You pull one string, all the strings respond. So this card always reminds me of one small tweak that changes an entire dynamic, rephrasing something, figuring out how something works, the actual mechanism and machinery of something, and figuring that out and understanding how to change something in reality, because it's all connected. So it could be something in your mind that you're changing. This protective nest, this can you hear me, this moon dance. And I like the moon dance too, because it almost seems like surfing on the moon, right? Dancing on the moon, surfing on the moon. Surfing's just dancing with energy, with the energy of the water. It's interesting too, because I wouldn't say she's surfing, I'd say she's sort of floating, waiting for the wave to come. And while you're waiting for that wave to come, keep a positive outlook, because it's all connected. So your thoughts will come out. So you want to be, careful with them. And then all in all, you have this, when the ones you need fly close overall. So this could be about meeting with someone that's been like very delayed, very protected. This could be about hearing some news. But everything's connected, and you are connected to your tribe throughout all of this. Okay. Moving on to the tarot. From the bottom of the deck, we have 8 of Cups, which is really funny because I said moving on to the tarot, and this is moving on to something else, a better situation. Where you're at right now is not satisfying to you, and that could be very confusing, because there could be a lot of people around you that do find this a satisfying place, that do find this to be enough. And this is enough. Look at all of these. They've found their mate, but the ladybug has no mate here. And this isn't about being single, and this isn't about being with other people. This is just, you haven't found what you're looking for here. And then we have moon dance, and we have surfing on the moon. And then here we have the moon. The moon is guiding your way. The moon is lighting this path forward for you. And that's your intuition. It's leading you forward. It's telling you right here, this place, and perhaps it has already told you, this place isn't all there is for you. You haven't completed this journey. You haven't completed this task. This isn't all that there is. You're moving forward. And a lot of people are happy here. And that's great. That's super. A lot of people are happy with 8 of Cups. For you, that's not your stopping point. This isn't where you get off this train. So you're going to keep going. This isn't your stop. This is a lot of other people's stop, though. So that can be confusing when other people stay here and everybody gets off in Bismarck, but you're headed to, you're headed to Chicago, but most of the train disembarks at Bismarck. And so it can be really confusing. Like, am I disembarking here? Where am I disembarking? No, you're disembarking in Chicago. But for whatever reason, most of the people on this train disembarked here, but you stay on. That's interesting, because 8 of Cups is usually about leaving a situation, but I'm seeing you more staying on a path and staying on a situation. And it can be really confusing because other people are sort of, so it would be like the Oregon Trail, and people like Well, we're going to settle in Kansas. Well, we're going to settle in Utah. Well, we're going to settle in, I'm forgetting the order, Kansas. We're going to settle in Colorado. We're going to settle in Utah. Well, we're going all the way to Oregon. You're going all the way to Oregon, okay? So past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Okay, in the past, you've made a lot of space for this. It's taken effort. This is Seven of Wands. It's a very effortful card, as you can see. And his chest says love. And you've put in a lot of effort. This has been a labor of love. This has been something that you have wanted to do. You have put in this effort. You have fought the good fight. You have defended yourself. You have made space for something that you love, and there is a history here. This can often be a project that you love, a relationship that with someone that you love. You made space for this in the past. I don't know if you continued making space for this, but you made space for this in the past. And it was a lot of effort and a lot of work, blood, sweat, and tears to make space for this. And you did, but it was out of passion. It was definitely out of passion that you did this. It was a passion project, perhaps. So we have cups, wands, swords, wands, swords. We don't have any pentacles. So this is a lot about energy. And that makes sense too, because in this protective nest, we don't have anything emerging into reality. At this point, we have a lot of envisioning and dreaming. So your current situation, Five of Wands. So this one always is really sort of strategic competition. That's where you're at right now. You're strategic, or you're in competition. And there could be a couple different strategies here. You know, I always find it interesting. Some people have the strategy of, I love this hobby. I want to do this hobby. So this labor of love, or this project, this passion project, I want to do it. And so they work really hard at it. And maybe it's a little bit of a competitive arena, and maybe there's 20 other writers in working on this, or you're competing against 20 other writers. So one way we can compete is to just do our very best to keep leveling up, keep learning, keep growing. Another way we can compete is just putting everybody else down, making them all feel like crap, and then hoping they all leave the room crying and disengage. That never happens, and it's the worst way, but I see that as a strategy from time to time, and it is really remarkable. So this is a competitive arena. There might be game playing here, head games, which is what I was just talking about, people playing head games, but everybody wants to win, and there's strategies afoot here on how to achieve that and accomplish that. The players are being moved around. The players are being moved around. It's a competitive game. And it almost seems like there's an authority figure here that is moving the pieces around. I know that seems like the thing I just said, but it's very different. It's a different take on it. There's you're being moved around here. You're being shifted. What you thought you could do, you're now, right, like maybe you thought you were a pawn and you were like, well, if it's my first turn, I can go 2 spaces, but otherwise I can only go 1. I can steal in a diagonal. And what I'm seeing now is that there's some situation in which, but now you are a knight. And this is how you can move. You can move 1 space that way and 2 spaces that way. And that's how you move. You're like switching roles, or something's being moved around here. And it's in a competitive environment. Maybe like you're a stand-up comedian and and there's 5 of you going that night, and you thought you were going to go 5th, but you arrive and you're actually going 1st. So be prepared for some sort of switch up like that coming up here. But it's a competitive arena. And maybe you haven't heard, it seems very silent though. All right, inner landscape, 2 of Swords. stubbornness, not talking about it. Again, we have that moon. Intuition is here. Intuition is here, but it's so slight. We have the moon dance showing up multiple times here. I'd love to see the moon, but honestly, we don't have any major arcana here. In fact, the Eight of Cups is as high as we go in the minor arcana, and we've got a page and a queen. No kings, no nines, no tens, no aces. So this isn't, we're not talking about something that's brand new and just beginning, and we're talking about something you've been passionate about for a while, and you've worked to make time, space, and money to do this. But we do have we have this crescent moon showing up in different, either waxing or waning, but it's here, and but it's just a little sliver. It's just a little sliver, but we're getting this need multiple times here to listen to your intuition. It's just a small little thing. You don't have to, like, sometimes when I see the little sliver, I'm like, oh, now I have to listen really hard to my intuition. And that's really not what we're talking about. We're talking about more like, there'll be a nudge there. And if you don't get it the first time, you'll get it the second time. It's not going to leave you hanging. But Two of Swords, this could be someone you're thinking about not talking to someone. You don't engage with someone. There's a stubbornness. There's a blockheadedness here. There is a refusal to know something. You're in denial about something, perhaps. Or you've said no to something. You want to say no to something? You are saying no to something? There's refusal. Two of Swords is refusal. And that's your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape. I want to say, like, there's a bee in your bonnet about something, but you're not talking about it. Something's bothering you, but you don't want to talk about it. Or you haven't talked about it. You're not, but again, Two of Swords can be the same as a silence, this can you hear me, right? It's not seeing, not acknowledging. These birds are up here, they're not talking. You're not at home here, I don't think. You're not at home. It's just, you're not doing anything. The situation is very competitive, but maybe you're refusing to see something, you're refusing to believe something. You could be afraid of a refusal, afraid of a no. You might not be talking about a dream. You might not be expressing about a dream. You might not want to talk about something. There's just your inner landscape, hopes, fears is a no. I think you're afraid of a no, or you're afraid of the silence. You're not liking the silence. You don't like to not know something and not see something and not know what's going on somewhere. Or you don't want to express it. Maybe this is you and you heard from someone and you're like, you know what? I don't need that in my life right now. And I don't even want to talk about it because it's just going to open a can of worms I am not ready or interested to talk about. What's at issue? Page of Wands in reverse. This is a child that's uninspired, or a new person that's uninspired. There can be a little depression here, a lack of curiosity, not seeing something, not being able to see something. Page of Wands. In reverse, a petulant newbie. This is a person who lacks faith, and they could be a child. So we could be talking about a depressed child, a child that lacks faith, and maybe they're not a child. They just have to be sort of in that role of learning something. They're new at something, but they lack faith. And it just really reminds me of like cynical young people that just don't have much experience, haven't really lived yet, and yet the whole world is something they've seen before, blah, blah, blah. So this could be about a young person that you know that's a little out of sorts, sort of in spirit, in psyche, they're not really they're not in a space of hope and joy and enthusiasm. They are very unenthusiastic. This is an unenthusiastic person. And the frustrating thing is that they are so new to the situation that they don't know enough to be cynical. Like, this could be an unenthusiastic or slightly depressed coworker. And for whatever reason, this person is causing an issue. This could be the person that's not very talkative or communicative that you're waiting to hear back from. They might be new at the job, they might be new at the work, and they might be overwhelmed. There could be some sort of barrenness, or they don't have any ideas, they don't have any new ideas. Oh, they're not communicating either. Yeah, they're not communicating about what's bothering them, or about, they may not even know what to communicate. It's just, that's what I'm getting in. Who cares? I don't care. There's really nothing to talk about because they just don't care. All right, in your environment, you have this person. You have a Queen of Wands. We always have the Queen of Wands with a sunflower, which we also have in the Sun card. This person's intuition is on fire. They know things. They don't go around telling everybody they know things. That would not be their style. The Queen is very self-possessed. The Queen is introverted energy. But this person, male or female, is in an introverted energy, a quiet energy. But they have a power. They have their inner power, a spiritual power. So we have this reverse Page of Wands, a child that doesn't really, or a new person, someone that doesn't know what they're doing and is very depressed about it. And then we have a person that knows exactly what they want, exactly what they want to do. They are very clear on their intuition. Their intuition is loud and clear. They do not have a lot of doubts. They may not be announcing it. They may not be saying anything. They haven't made an announcement on the socials, but they know. They're very clear on what it is they like, what it is they want. And they draw people to them just with this quiet assuredness. This person draws people to them. They don't have to go around and say, hey, I'm in charge. I'm in charge here. Nope. They just are. They just are what they are. They are who they are. This could be a very introverted but very spiritual person, an introverted, very powerful person. I'm getting introversion, but also certainty and clarity. They know who they are and they know what they want. There are a lot of wands here. 7 of Wands, 5 of Wands, Page of Wands, Queen of Wands. And so there are 4 wands here. So the wands, so this reading is primarily about a creative project or process, a spiritual project or process. Could also be sexuality based. That's all kind of part of the wands suit, the energy, the spark of life. And we have fighting for your right to party here for a long time. We have continuing to fight for your right to party here. But I feel like somebody else is having a say here, is determining things here. You have been very competitive. You're in a competitive arena and you fought the good fight for what it is you want for this passion project. You have someone here that doesn't necessarily know what they're doing and may have lost some passion because of that. You have someone here that knows exactly what they're doing, but they're not speaking up. You may be waiting for word from them, but they're not saying anything, even though they know, and they know what they want. They know what they like. All right. So the other suit we have 3 swords. So if there weren't so many wands, we'd be talking about swords. Swords are communication and clear thoughts. So we have energy and we have communication and thinking. So we have spirit and mind here. So your to-do list, 4 of Swords. Take a break, go on vacation. You haven't heard back. Go on a vacation, take a break, rest. Rest, again, I see this resting in your intuition, resting on your intuition. The communication is taking its sweet time, floating down to you. These feathers represent like letters, communication, emails, texts. They're getting there. They're gonna go like this. They're not like the swords or wands, and they're just like, boom, there we are. They're like, they're gonna take 4 times as long getting to you. Oh, there's no uncertainty here. That's not the issue. The issue is this person that doesn't know what they're doing and this person isn't certain. This person lacks passion and certainty. And part of it is just because they're new and they don't know what they're looking at. Somebody knows exactly what they're looking at and knows exactly what they want. And I want to say this Queen of Wands is this one here in the 5 of Wands moving things around because they know what they want. It feels like in any kind of competition, and winner has already been selected, but the information is going to take its sweet time getting to you. So your job, just relax, chill out, take a break. You're not quitting anything, but you are taking a break. Take a little break, take a little nap, take a rest. Nap and rest are very important. They're crucial. This could be a meditation card as well. We were talking about meditation earlier. You know, these self-doubts are all going to get up in your mind, but you're just going to relax. You're going to chill out. You're going to meditate. You're going to sleep well. Make sure you get your beauty sleep. This is the time to do it. And it feels urgent to me. Isn't that funny? It feels urgent to me that you get some sleep and some rest right now with this 4 of Swords. It's very important. And oftentimes with the 4 of Swords, if you don't want to get your sleep and rest is the foundation of all activity, of all work. We can't do any of it. We can't even be alive for very long without sleep and rest. So this is absolutely crucial to whatever comes next. If you haven't heard back, you take a break then too. Don't worry about it. You know, did that boy not get back to you? Well, just go do something else. Go have a good time. Go rest, relax. It's very, very important for you right now to take a break from the competition, because take a break. This thing that you fought so hard for, you don't need to fight for it. You can take a rest. You can take a day off. I mean, the algorithm maybe won't like it, but you can do it. It'll be fine. You can take a day off and relax, enjoy yourself. It's crucial. It is work. It is the work you need to be doing right now, is to rest. It's very competitive. And how are you going to be competitive if you aren't well rested? All right. And then we have another 5 coming in here. We have our 3rd sword, 5 of Swords. In this competitive arena, you're going to have to choose yourself. You might have to make some difficult choices. You might have to leave some people behind. You might have to upset some people. You might have to rob Peter to pay Paul. There is something about red clothing that just this ladybug, it first started with this woman's red shoes, which always yell at me. But I was like, that was always yell at me. I'm not going to take that as a special message. Then we go to the ladybug, the red woman. She's alone. She's not found what she's looking for here. And then we have this red cloak here. And now we have you in red here, stealing cloth from this other person. But you have to. You need to. It's very important. 5 of Swords is this competitive environment. 5 of Wands and 5 of Swords is having to make decisions, and they are difficult decisions, and they are not fun decisions to make, but they are the grown-up decisions of what it is that you want and sticking with what you want. This is the non-people-pleasing card. When 5 of Swords shows up, it's, okay, is this person going to be upset that you took a nap? Yes, they are going to be upset to take a break from something. Maybe you have to take a leave of absence. Maybe you have to go on maternity leave and your boss isn't going to like it. Maybe you need some other kind of leave of absence for something. And maybe your boss doesn't like it, and they're going to be very upset. It's at an inopportune time. But you need to get your rest. You need to heal, recover, get your rest, and you may need to quit some things or make choices and decisions that are going to be upsetting to other people that want something from you and maybe have had you convinced that you owe them something. This is like, I don't like this game, I'm taking my toys and going home. Are the other kids going to be upset that you're taking the toys because these are all your toys? It's like, I don't want to play this game anymore, or I don't want to participate in this anymore. And so, but guess who owned the chessboard? You owned the chessboard. So you're going to take your toys and you're going to go home and on your merry way. Are the people you were playing chess with going to be upset? Yeah, they're going to be upset, but they can go buy their own chess set. They maybe shouldn't have cheated. You maybe shouldn't have caught them cheating. They shouldn't have done whatever it is that they did that made you pack up and go home. So it's not that they deserve it, it's that you deserve something else. And that's a lot of what this Eight of Cups is here too. It's not that, it's that you deserve something else, or what you want, what you desire is further up ahead. It's not here. So like this chess game you've been playing, and maybe it's something else. Maybe it's not the same game. Maybe you've been playing something and now you're like, I really would like to play this chess game. This has been very competitive. I'm moving up to the next level. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to do the dishes for the next 2 weeks because I need to focus on this. And yes, that's upsetting, but this is a competitive arena. What am I supposed to do here? So this isn't, where you're at isn't where you're meant to be. And you might have to make some choices and decisions that are upsetting to other people, but do move you forward. So we have that. And then, oh, this got long. Those cards. I'm going to just take these. I'm not going to do the flippy thing. One of each of these oracle cards, and we'll go through them very quickly. Heka. Oh, this is cool. This is the magician, basically. The Egyptian magician, the inventor of magic. Connect to the magic of Heka to find inspired thoughts and perfect action, which is really funny because we have the Five of Wands talking about inspiration and Swords talking about thoughts. Inspired thoughts, inspiring thoughts, and the magic of those thoughts. So connecting to Heka, this lit up, this full moon on top of his head, inspired thoughts. And I think we've already talked about that a little bit with all is connected, the inspired thoughts. Oh my goodness, what the Egyptology is going on here? Scarab beetle spirit magic works through you. This is the second magic card. We have the magician, the inventor of magic. And then we have the symbol of magic, scarab beetle. Wowzer. Scarab beetle, magic works through you. So you can be a source of magic. So even if some people don't like it, this has Queen of Wands vibe, but this person's in your environment. So magic is afoot here. And, you know, it's things that maybe you didn't expect, things happening. And this is why you're meant to dream real, real, real big and wild and crazy, because we've got some sort of magic moment here. Wow, that is really cool. Those are two Egyptian cards from two non-Egyptian decks. I think this is the only one in that deck, and this is one of two in the Omens deck. Okay, and this one, stepping onto your path and you are protected. Go ahead and play. Go ahead and rest and relax. There are adults in the room, and they're going to be looking both ways for you as you take this next step. You are one of a kind. Your path will never be exactly the same as anyone else's. The type of frequency you hold is as individual as your fingerprints. That uniqueness, and I want to say the unique dream, wild dream that you have come up with, the uniqueness cannot ever be taken from you, co-opted by another, or compromised in any way. This is very much a non-compromise card here as well. Relish your uniqueness and share it lovingly, freely, and joyfully with the world. Lovingly, freely, and joyfully. I love it. This inner child stepping out, because you know what? You have a lot of skills. You can look out for yourself. You have good boundaries. You can look out for yourself. So there's a sense of being able to play, being able to take a vacation, being able to take a break from the work. All right. I hope that this was helpful for you. Thank you for joining me here, and we'll talk again next week. Bye.